Welcome to a special edition of the Outlandish podcast with Heather, Tracy, Julie, and Jody. And we wanted to do this so we could dive in and talk about Saturday, April 11th, 2026, the Tartan Parade and the Tartan Parade post party, all part of Tartan Week in New York City. And Tracy, we missed you.
It was so sad to not be there yesterday. I had such FOMO, but I was loving that you had the experience that you had. And I can't wait to hear all about it too.
We had a great time.
Pretty quiet.
Yeah. So we gathered, the three of us, Jody and Julie and myself, and in New York City, got there enough time to go grab a quick lunch, and we went over to Connolly's. As soon as I walked in there, I was like, oh my God, I've been here before. This is crazy. I was having a total flash, but a lot of kilts, a lot of people, just very
lots of kilts.
Yeah, very festive. So that was like the kind of the start of all things. And they started to close down 6th Avenue at the time. Unfortunately, Julie, you had some parking issues as a result of that. You couldn't get to your parking garage. But we made it. And then the parade was supposed to start at 2. And so we found a place on 6th Avenue that we figured would keep us in the sunshine for a little while because it was on the chilly side.
Yeah.
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 And we were a little closer to the beginning, which was nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
We knew that Sam would be the Grand Marshal and that you guys had seen that he was actually walking, right? So it wasn't on a float in the previous time that he had done it. So the thought was maybe if he's walking, he would be able to come over and say hi to people up close and personal. So we were like, okay, let's gamble here. And then even looked across the street to see our competition. Like, would there be other
come
women?
To the Kentucky Derby, whoever that was.
Yes.
They were from Kentucky and they were very excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
And putting together all these, like a video. I took a ton of video and I'm going to put that all together as well. And so this parade starts and then sure enough, Sam is there and he's walking around. He's holding a bottle of Sassenach whiskey and he looks like he's having the best time, right?
Yeah, he looked so happy and cheery and people were yelling and Julie was so good and yelling towards Sam.
What did you say?
I held up the cocktail diaries because I have a copy of it, which I brought, and a pen, perhaps in the hopes that he might be able to sign it, but he wasn't signing anything yesterday. But I couldn't help myself and I screamed, "We love you, Sam." And he said, "Love you back."
And we may have it on film.
It might be on film.
May have it there.
So I was filming, Jody was filming too, and like I got part of it, and then some woman's head like cut off right as he's gonna say it, but Jody's picks up right where the head kind of. So we don't have it complete.
Together. Yes, the magic of the internet. We'll just splice it together, and it was the first thing I told my husband last night when I came home. He's like, "Yeah, that tracks."
So he did acknowledge us for that second. And we were like wondering once he passed us and he was with a lot of people from Sassenach and he was with his girlfriend. She was there and also Alex from Sassenach. And so they kept walking and we were like, well, should we stay here? Or should we watch some of the parade? And we decided to actually watch some of the parade, which was awesome. And everyone was so festive. It was a beautiful weather day, right? Yeah. It was perfect.
Yeah, it was great. And
perfect.
I mean, I'm Irish and sadly I've never been to a St. Patrick's Day parade, partially because to me, it's just too much about getting really drunk, which is, fun when you're young, but having been to Ireland and appreciated so much more about my Irish heritage and Irish culture. And I think what was really nice about the Tartan Day Parade is it really was about the culture and the heritage of Scotland, like the regalia, all of the different, clan colors were, on display. All of the wonderful Ceilidh dancers, young and old. So, it was a real celebration of Scottish culture, which was really nice to see.
That's amazing.
we decided at one point that we would try and walk towards the end of it. And so we picked up and just started booking it, uptown a little bit. Made it to the part where Sam was just about to climb onto the double-decker tour bus that they had there. And the big banner said, Grand Marshal. So we knew he'd be climbing up there. And then he stood up there for the remainder of the parade to welcome every group that was passing by. He had Whisky with him. He was dancing. He was waving. He was getting the crowd going, because on one side you had a lot of the peakers, and another side you had you can definitely tell Outlander fans, and then just regular people who were like, "Hey, what's going on here? This looks fun," and getting the crowd to cheer on one side against the other side, and just really having a good time. And it was nice to see. I thought that when I was at the premiere that he looked, I don't know, he had more of an agenda, in the sense that he had then go through and talk to all the press and do all those interviews.
He was working. When they're at the premiere, they're working. I mean,
but he was working for Outlander, where I felt like this time he was working for the parade, which is inherently more fun.
Well, I mean, he's representing his country.
Yeah.
I mean, his people.
Yeah.
It's such an honor, right? I mean, so that's incredible for him.
You just seem more relaxed.
Right. He was having a really good time. And like where we were standing, a lot of the people were yelling for him to come down, and he would acknowledge it. And then the other side would start yelling the other side of the street. And he was kind of playing around with everyone. Some gentleman at one point had a replica of the World Cup, or was it whatever trophy?
The World Cup, like literally the actual World Cup trophy. Yeah.
And they loved it, and we watched them whisk him behind the bus, and then all of a sudden Sam had the trophy on top of the bus taking pictures. Like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, as someone who wasn't there, I will say that from the volleyball tournament that I was at, I was keeping up on social media, and there were tons of really great pictures of him from yesterday. And I think that what was so interesting is that, he's obviously been in a relationship for a while, but I love that he feels comfortable being photographed with his girlfriend now. And he just looked really happy with her. And that just makes me happy because, I think I texted you all, like, he's brought so much joy to so many people for so many years, and he's worked so incredibly hard. And I think that, in his book, he kind of talks about, like, he hasn't really had time for a relationship because he never felt like he could give someone enough of himself because he was always so busy. So I'm just happy that he's in like a place in his life where it seems like he can do this and have that kind of happiness for himself. So,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we debated even like talking about that aspect of this only because we wanted to be respectful. And, we don't want to tell you who she is and who the kid is. And you can go Google all you want because there's a lot of stuff there. But I felt like this was the hard launch of them publicly. We saw her at the premiere, but she wasn't standing with him the whole time. This was like up front and center. And it wasn't paparazzi sneaking photos of them in a park together. This was at a very public event in the middle of Manhattan. And so I'm thrilled for him. Like, I'm thrilled that he finally has the confidence to be able to do this. Now, I was watching him a little bit, and I'm sure everybody was, to see if he was going to put his arm around her and, all the little things that were going on behind the scenes. And so, it was just nice.
Yeah.
No, I'm happy for him. I really hope that she is not being threatened in any way. Like, you think she's a single mom, like she has a young child. Because some of the fandom is really nuts. I mean, some of the fandom still think Sam and Kate have been in a
right.
secret
I think some
relationship.
Of the fandom think that he's actually Jamie Fraser.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, there were women we were
yesterday.
standing next to yesterday screaming Jamie, and I was like, guys, it just like, look, I love the show,
Right.
and I love being silly about it. We're grown women and we can be silly about things because it brings us joy, and that's okay. Right. But it's like, I crossed the line of like, he's a man. He is not his character. He is allowed to date who he wants.
Right.
run the business ventures that he wants. And, just like Jamie's tenants, you don't have to stay here if you don't like it.
Yeah, there was someone who made a comment on one of the things that I had posted on the Outlandish Heather page, and saying that they're sad that he's not alone anymore. And I was like, oh, that's so not.
What?
Yeah,
You're sad that
he's not alone anymore.
Yeah,
I can't.
Wow.
I know, but that's just jealousy or whatever. I mean,
weird.
But
That's
I'm not
weird.
gonna. You know what? I remember like loving John Taylor from Duran Duran, like loving him. I'm not gonna lie, okay? And so when he finally got married, I was a little sad.
Okay, but how old were you when that happened?
35. No, I'm just kidding.
She was like, it was a month ago.
But there's, I mean, I get it. You get like, all right, let's go back to before all of our time when Elvis and Priscilla got together. Like there were hearts broken. Everyone was upset,
Yeah.
So I get that you're sad about it, but let's 2026 this and be happy for Sam.
Exactly. Should we get to the post party?
Yes. Yeah. All right. So parade ends. Before we get there, we're standing there on the corner, 55th, right?
55th and 6th.
55th and 6th. When all of a sudden, everyone's going, I wonder if he's going to come over and say hi. I wonder if Sam will run over here because everyone's been saying, come this way, come this way. So all of a sudden I said, just hang out because there's a chance. Like we'd be upset if we walked away, right? And found out that he came over. And sure enough, he gets off the bus and he starts walking over to us and got really, really close. And so I got some great video of that too. Didn't actually sign anything, but thank you for coming.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where like clearly he, that was not part of how he was going to be interacting with people yesterday, and that's perfectly fine.
But that's the fan service that they are doing, and that's the fan service that I saw at the premiere as well. With Katrina running up and going to greet the fans that
they
were
love their fans. I mean,
that's awesome.
I've been to those 92nd Street Y events, and Sam could literally get whisked into a car and leave immediately after, and he never does. He literally walks around. They have those barriers there, and he goes to every side, and he'll sign things, and he'll take your phone and take a selfie with you. I mean, he's always been super appreciative of the fan base and will give whatever time that he can in that situation.
Right. And I've been around celebrities a lot in my career, and I've seen people not do that. They go from the stage door, book it. Sorry, I'm not talking to you. So he's very gracious with that. So, all right, we go to the post party. We were fortunate enough to get tickets.
You have to let everyone know what that was. That was like a ticketed event, right?
Yeah. So Julie, you're the one that found it, right? So, and then I get a feverish text from Jody. She's like, I just got a ticket to this.
Buy your ticket.
Yeah. So it was, So we signed up for this party at Sony Hall, and it was billed as the post parade party.
The official post parade party.
Sponsored by Sassenach. And that they would be there, and we didn't know in what capacity anyone would be there. We figured that Sam would show up in some way. And then they announced that there would be some groups there performing, including Allie the Piper, who I was fortunate enough to Zoom with last week, and she's awesome. Love her. And so we were like, all right, so we got our outfits together and headed on over to Sony Hall, and they did that place up. Did you notice that they did the whole front of it too? In Sassenach posters? Yeah.
I did not notice that.
No, I didn't notice it either. And then I saw it in some pictures. I'm like, oh, we missed the whole front that was all done. But when you first walk in, we scanned our tickets. And then immediately there was a table there. Now, we had gotten an email that said, was it Friday or Thursday or Friday? Thursday. That said, hey, at the party, you're going to be able to buy $20 raffle tickets to have a wee dram with Sam.
What?
Yep. And so we got
What?
confirmed.
It's a good thing I wasn't there. I would have spent like $1,000 on raffle tickets.
We
all
knew then that Sam would be there. You know,
Yeah.
like you're not having a wee dram with Sam the poster.
No.
Yes, which
Well,
there's
it was
video.
funny, though.
There's
I
video of
texted-
me and a poster of Sam that will never see the light of day, Heather.
Oh. Well, I was texting and Jody's like, Sam's not here. And I'm like, I have faith. He's going to be there. And literally a second later, she texted. She's like, he's here.
And he's here.
Yeah.
And he's here. We did say, and I mean, Tracy, if you were here, we would have done the same thing. The raffle winner, it would be like the raffle winner and a friend. And so obviously it was three of, I know. Needless to say, neither of us won. But we made a pact in the elevator. We made a Three Musketeers pact in the elevator that if one of us won, we would show up all three and say, we are here together. So you're either taking all of us or you're taking none of us.
Right.
Wow.
Then I told
You
them
would have
that
taken all three. What's another person?
I know.
well, yeah, but see, it wouldn't have been him making the decision, and that's the part that
True.
I've gotten a lot of no's from PR people where the celebrity says yes, but the
Yeah.
PR people. But either way, that they said, okay, that's the plan, and then I said, but plans can be broken.
Plans can change. That's
Yes,
what
they
we call
can.
them, plans.
So
can
I want to
change.
know, how many raffle tickets did you buy?
We'll never tell.
Bought two.
Oh, Jody,
Two.
I bought.
I would have bought a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought 5.
It was going to a good
It was
cause. Like,
charity,
it was
right?
it was a charity raffle.
Well, that's the thing.
It was going to a 501c3. So
Yes,
so we were
yes.
happy about
Which
that.
we found
you
out
did
because they
something
didn't
good.
they didn't include that in the email, but I investigated a little bit more because at least it made me feel better about donating.
I assumed it would be for a charity. I don't think Sam would be like asking people to pay for raffles for himself.
Yeah, it's for the Tartan committee, and so that was good.
There you go.
All right, so we bought the raffle tickets, and by the way, I heard some guy, I got to get a raffle ticket. Yeah, so I can go meet Sam Heughan. And I was like, you should not be allowed to buy a raffle ticket if that's how
Oh, no,
you do
they-
it.
You not be the winner.
You can't win.
So they gave us the red tickets, which then we had to hold on to. And I said, just make sure, like, are you going to announce this? Because I've been at places before where they stand in a corner and they pull the ticket, and if you're not there to hear it. But luckily, they did it up on stage and pulled it from a bucket, and somebody won.
Oh, I just got chills.
Yeah,
How fun for that person.
so fun, right? So we grabbed. They had free drinks between 4 and 6. So.
Wow.
And they were serving, I thought it was just going to be beer and wine that was free, but they had a bunch of Sassenach cocktails curated just for the party that were also free.
Oh,
And so that was fun.
man.
and they were strong pours.
Heavy pours.
They were heavy.
Maybe it's a good thing I wasn't there. That sounds dangerous.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
There were definitely some people who were overserved by the
There-
time they left.
yes, very
I'm
much
sure.
so, because the drinks were so strong. Like
Yeah.
I had
man.
one hard drink because it probably had 3 shots of gin in it, and
Yeah.
Oh,
on
that's a lot.
On an empty stomach, I did not want to get.
Was there any food at the event that you could
There
could buy.
was, but it was like fish and chips and like a sausage roll. Not
Wait.
really something.
But we didn't, by the time we got there, because we stayed for the end of the parade, we could have left the parade early, but we would have missed those moments with Sam. So we decided to stay. If we had gone to earlier, we might have gotten a table where having food
It
would
would
have
have
been
easier
better.
to eat. Yeah.
But we were on our feet the whole time,
Yeah.
standing in front of the stage. And so that just wasn't going to
So
happen.
did you get a bite to eat after? I need
Yes.
to know when you got to eat.
Yes.
I'm such
Oh
a
my
mom.
God. Italian and Jewish moms are exactly the same. Did you eat?
Well,
When
I'm
did you
Italian
eat?
and Jewish, so there.
Yes, exactly. You have it as a double whammy.
Uh,
You have it as a double whammy, but yes.
I'm like, did you ladies have food?
But did you eat? Yes.
I know. I
Shout
know.
out to Glass House Tavern. We had a fantastic,
Yes.
meal.
So
at Glass
the
House Tavern.
the first musical band was the
Tartan
Tartan
Terrors.
Terrors. Yeah.
They were
And
so good.
They were
fantastic.
excellent. So good.
That's awesome.
Love that.
So
I can't wait to
energetic.
see all of your videos and stuff.
And
when you
I
put it together.
asked the bagpiper.
Tyler.
Oh, she. I love you, Heather. You are my DJ alter ego, walking up to celebrities, like the life I wanted to, like I thought I wanted to have when I was in high school. And, occasionally jumped on a tour bus or two when I was in college. I never got around to telling you that story.
Mm.
But yes, Tyler the bagpiper from the Tartan Terrors. I was just curious. I was like, do you guys have day jobs? And he's like, yeah, I'm a therapist. I'm like, oh, lovely. That's wonderful.
Yeah, great.
I was a therapist. That's great.
So tell me about your problems.
I will write a song on the bagpipe.
Yeah. But if you're watching this and you ever see that the Tartan Terrors are coming to your neighborhood, go.
Go.
Like,
Yes,
just,
they were
just go.
so,
They're so good.
They were so fun. There were what are the 8 of them? 7, 8 of them?
Are they from Scotland?
No, they're from Canada.
Oh, they're from Canada.
They're
Okay.
from Canada, and they all have, except maybe the one guy, like Scottish and Irish heritage. Their flag is actually, it's like a skull and crossbones, and then one side of it is the Scottish flag, and then the other side of it is the Irish flag. So they pander. They pander to
They're
both
Celtic.
sides.
They're
Yeah.
Celtic.
Yeah, they're Celtic.
Right.
They're united under the fact that they were, both once under English rule and rebelled against it.
Right. So after them, and before Ally the Piper came out, then they did talk. The crowd was very loud, not made up a lot of Outlander fans or peakers, not necessarily. The overwhelming majority were just people that love Scotland and were there for the parade.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they did have an interview with the head coach, Steve Clark, from the Scottish football team. And so that was kind of cool, but everyone was very loud speaking in the background. So they were trying to get everyone to be quiet. That was tough. And then they welcomed Sam to come out. And he, there's a lot of comments on my Facebook page, the Outlandish Heather, social media. People are saying like, whoa, he must have been having a lot of drinks, or he looks like he's having a good time. He was having a good time. I don't care how many drinks he had. You get a high of being around in that environment, and he just successfully was the Grand Marshal of a parade. He's having a good time.
Yes. And not only that, like his company is sponsoring this party, right?
Yeah,
This is sponsored by Sassenach.
And he's a professional. And so he's still like, that was probably, that was his last, probably professional obligation of the evening. So I'm sure he had a drink or two before
He looked great.
came out on
Yeah,
stage.
he wasn't drunk.
I
but-
saw a ton of pictures and he looked phenomenal. And from what I've seen from him over the years, he can hold his liquor. So I'm sure he could have
He's
quite a few drinks and be totally fine.
220.
He's a lot bigger than we are.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever. I mean, I think you go ahead and tee up he had a really nice speech, just saying thank you everybody for coming and thank you to the Tartan committee. And then do you want to tee up what he did with Ally the Piper?
Yeah, he invited Ally to come out, and I guess he had asked her backstage, hey, would you come out and do the Skyboat song? And she was like, yeah, when Sam Heughan asked you to go ahead and do that, you do it. When I had talked to her, I had asked her if she was an Outlander fan, and she is. So and I'm sure she had an inkling that this could happen. So she was ready to go. And so she came out and they started to do that. Now, Sam, it's been talked many times, and I know that Katrina has said that, you don't want Jamie or Sam to sing. And so we found out that he's not exactly very good at carrying a tune, but I can say that because neither am I. And so, it was fun. And I think anytime that he sang something really off pitch, he looked at the crowd and was like,
He's like, yeah, that doesn't sound, he's like, I know that doesn't sound right. And poor Ally, like, again, give it to her as being a professional on stage, is that she's trying to keep him on pitch, which was a fool's errand, but also on time, like, because he would like slow down and then he would speed up, and she's like,
She was saying Right.
Yeah, she's like looking at him like, okay, now we got to slow it down.
Yeah.
And she was trying to cue him because she's obviously incredibly musically talented and knows what she's doing. And perhaps not so much the case, but
Yeah.
it was a great sing along. It was a great moment, wine shower included.
Yeah. I
You
think
guys got to have such an amazing experience.
it was
That's
so
amazing.
cool. It was so nice. And, he was only on stage for like 7 minutes or so. The video's posted on the Outlandish Heather Instagram and Facebook, and it's been well watched, let's just say. It was very cool and a great experience. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to film it so that other people who weren't there got a chance to kind of witness what we were seeing. And then the funny part, a drink goes flying. I won't say where it came from, but a drink goes flying at one point, and and just goes all over Jody. Like,
I had no idea what happened. I was like, I'm wet. Why am I wet? Oh my God, I'm wearing wine.
I've watched the video now, and I still don't know who hit my hand.
All right, so it's Julie's drink. Either way, he shouts. You could see
Fraser.
if you see the video of them, the 7-minute video that I'm talking about, you can see all of a sudden the wine get hit and go, pew, and
it somehow defied gravity because it felt like it flew out of my glass. It hung in the air for. It had hang time, right? Like a ski jumper with hang time. And then all of a sudden it was raining wine. I was like, why are things dripping out of the sky?
So I'm so busy trying to film Sam.
Yeah.
And I look over at Jody and she's kind of like all over.
It went behind me.
Up and over.
Wait, you said was this wine?
It was wine.
Thank God it was white wine.
Yeah,
I was holding my glass of wine and my phone up because I needed two hands. And somebody knocked my hand when he said, Clan Fraser, and somebody went, oh, and knocked the glass.
And if you listen to the video, you can actually hear Jody say, am I covered in wine?
And then I feel bad because
no idea what happened. I was just wet. And then I was like, oh my God, what is that smell? I was like, oh God.
And I feel terrible because the people in front of me I think it was one of them that knocked it. And then they were like, why are we wet? And you can see that in the video. And I literally in that moment wanted to be Homer Simpson in the bushes.
The retreat.
I felt so bad, but I didn't do it. I didn't knock my own wine glass.
When a drink spilled, it's usually the sign of a good time.
There were a few glasses broken, not by us.
It happened.
That were in the crowd.
Funny.
But yeah, it was a great party. And again, part of the joy that this show has brought us is, an introduction to a cultural heritage that some of us share and some of us don't. And
I feel like I'm Scottish by association at this
point. Enjoying good music and good drink.
Going to Scotland and really.
It was great. It was really great. We went over to the merch table afterwards, and that's where we talked to Tyler from the Tartan Terrors. Mm-hmm. And then Allie came over, and since I had interviewed her, I said hello, and then I gave her a hug, and then she promptly hugged Julie and Jody, and we took a picture. And so it was a really great night.
I didn't know who that was, but
yeah. So she was happy to be there. She had some tech issues, but like a professional, she powered through them. And it was a great night. And by the time we left there, it was we walked out of Sony Hall at 7:30, right? Wow. And it was still light outside. I was expecting it to be nighttime. Yeah. And I was like, now what are we going to do with this person that smells like wine?
It was lovely. Day drinking at its finest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was early evening drinking.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
were very
Exactly.
we kept it very classy.
We were fine. The surrounding people around us were
Not
on a
not
path that
not so much.
Different path.
they
Yeah.
were on a path that they were probably not feeling so great this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a good time.
And what a fun
Absolutely.
night. It really was a fun night. Jody and I both stayed overnight in the city before I headed back to Boston today. And we woke up this morning. It was pretty early. It was like around 7:30 or so. And I decided to open the windows to see what